Hello, friends, and welcome to the Weekend Catch-Up, the Coffee Morning Show brought to you live every Saturday at 10 a.m. and available later on Catch-Up over on youtube.com/gamertagged. Welcome, and as you can see, I am not alone for episode 2. My very first guest on the show is Sold Out Games' Sean McTavish Labode.
Hello, Ross.
Sean, how are you, buddy?
I'm very good, thanks. How are you?
I am wonderful to have somebody else to bounce my banter off of on the show, because usually it's just myself talking nonsense and hoping that people in the chat engage with me. And I'm like, please talk to me in the comments. But
yes, cool. Thanks for having me. Yes, and if you want me to do a bit of spiel about Sold Out,
please, yeah.
So I am currently community manager and video producer at Sold Out. So a company that we've been running for a good 6 years now. We do, a lot of indie almost AAA, indie and AA games. So we work with Team 17, Rebellion, Frontier. Yep. We used to just do the box side of the publishing side of things. Mm-hmm. So games like Overcooked and Worms and Sniper Elite. But more recently, in the last year or so, we've been getting into digital publishing. So we've been starting to release some digital games for the market, trying out the new things such as Epic Game Store and Steam, and seeing what everyone else has been kind of mastering, and we're kind of newbies in this field, but kind of still having the same fun that we do. So we've had some fun. But yeah,
you brought some actually quite big indie titles to box releases, haven't you? Overcooked is a big one.
Yes, Overcooked 1 and 2, which is hopefully everyone's favourite local and online party game. It
is, and I always remember every year. Sadly, not this year, but EGX, the Eurogamer Expo, was always a highlight because we got Sean Cuddles at usually the Rebellion stand, where 2 years ago, because I missed last year as well, it was this epic stand for Strange Brigade.
Oh yeah.
And then the previous year, so that would be 3 years ago, was Sniper Elite 4, and
wow,
for the AA space, it's that kind of awkward middle ground between thousands of employees, thousands of devs, crazy budgets for AAA, and then the AA space, where Rebellion are kind of the almost like kings within that kind of space as well, and being able to work with those guys is awesome.
Yeah, I just remembered when you mentioned the Strange Brigade stand at EGX. So we took it to Gamescom as well, but it was like a temple that we had made, as well as having a big Zeppelin just floating above, and there's mummies and smoke and everything. It's really cool. When you kind of break into that size, you can have a lot more fun with how you want to be remembered, which is really cool. But
it is. So tell us about your new game that just came out. It came out on, was it Thursday or Friday?
Thursday. So we released an indie game called Radical Rabbit Stew from developers Bugstorm, and the best way to describe it is it's a top-down action puzzler, as I like to call it, where you play a intergalactic space chef, and you're basically trying to rescue the other space chefs that have been taken away by the evil rabbit army, basically. Long story short, the rabbit queen is kind of a bit bored with her traditional recipes that her subordinates make for her, so she kidnaps the best chefs in the galaxy, and it's your job to kind of find them. And the game is literally kind of asymmetric top down, where you are hitting rabbits into various cooking pots. But it's quite beautiful because there is different types of spoons and wooden spoons, and kind of grappling hooks, and different types of bosses and rabbit styles. So yeah, if you just watch any of the clips or videos or trailers or anything from whatever is out there, it's very music like there was a lot of banging kind of chiptune stuff in there.
I tuned into a streamer called Glenn Angel on, I think it was Friday night, and he was streaming it to launch day promotion it, and I remember thinking, first of all, it looks just insanely fun, but it's got a beautiful pixel art, 16-bit era art style, and as you said, it's an isometric view. It's almost like a mix up of Pac-Man, Bomberman kind of arenas.
Yeah.
but a lot of fun, and I can't wait to jump in and play it myself. So for our viewers, I'm actually going to be live streaming it probably later on today, maybe tonight. So do tune in for that. It's going to be a lot of fun. It'll be on twitch.tv/gamer_tagged. And I can't wait because it's very kind of like the music in it's really cool, the art style is really cool, and the humor looks really cool. Just because you have to like smack this rabbit with a wooden spoon into the pot, so I'm excited to play it.
Excellent, cool.
Yeah. But Matt, I do have a question. So
yes.
you mentioned that you could get like different types of like utilities or utensils, kitchen utensils. Like, so you get wooden spoons. Can you get ladles, and can you get a wok, or is that just like a big old stewing pot? What else can you get?
So there's like a wooden spoon, which is your traditional weapon that you would hit a rabbit. There's a silver spoon, which is a larger one for hitting rabbits at a further distance, but you can also use it to hit like a spring, which knocks you into different areas, which is like great controversial. And the other one I mentioned, without too much to reveal, there is like a extendable hand, which you can basically fire, and it basically goes like a snake to grab whatever is there, or pulls you across the different areas, which is quite crazy. So if you like all that, plus there is local multiplayer as well, so up to 4 players head to head, kind of battling to get the most rabbits in the stew, and a level editor, which is amazing.
Can you create your own like arenas?
You could create your own campaign levels. So not so much the multiplayer side, but you can actually make your series of maybe 4 stages that you kind of work your way through. It's really cool, and that's available on all formats as well.
Okay, so is it kind of like a little bit like Mario Maker in terms of you can create your levels like that?
Yes.
Can you share the levels?
So you can share it if you're playing on Steam at the moment.
Okay.
For Steamworks and stuff. But if you're just having people over, you can kind of do it the old-fashioned way, that you might create something a bit like. Did you ever play Zelda Link's Awakening, the remake on the Switch that came out last year? They had a dungeon creator, but that wasn't available online. But that was for people just to kind of share with their friends and stuff, because it wasn't like the main selling point. But this is something that we're kind of really proud of, because we're running it on Steam for now on the workshop, which is really cool. So.
Yeah, I hope it really does come to like the consoles, and especially to Switch, because I can imagine just being at, well, we mentioned the Eurogamer Expo earlier, so if you're queuing up, like waiting for your line, for your moment to get your hands on whatever game you're queuing up for, everybody's playing their Switches, and it's like, you know what, I've just made this awesome level, let's share it, and you could do that kind of thing. That would just be amazing. That'd be really good fun. Cool. So guys, that is Radical Rabbit Stew, available now on everything. Absolutely everything. Go check it out. Check out the trailer. It looks a lot of fun, and I'm excited to play it. So Sean, we have an exciting few topics to talk about for this week's weekly weekend catch-up. Ubisoft Forward happened on Sunday. Paper Mario came out on Friday as well. Of course, we just mentioned the most anticipated big mega budget game of the year, which is of course Radical Rabbit Stew. That just came out on Thursday, and a small indie title called Ghost of Tsushima came out on Friday, and also the one that you told me about, made me aware of, is Neon Abyss by Team 17. That also came out on Friday. So I just watched the trailer for that just before going live, and it gave me major anxiety. Major anxiety. Yeah, because it is it's like a 2D side-scrolling version of Enter the Gungeon. That's what I got from the trailer. Which means it's like a crazy over-the-top bullet hell type of game with amazing pixel art, amazing music, and I looked at it and I thought, I love it, but nope. I don't have the reflexes for that. I'm 40 years old now. I just don't have the reflexes for that kind of thing. So, but you've played it, I'm assuming already.
So I love games like Dead Cells and Binding of Isaac and Enter the Gungeon and stuff. And you could say that market is heavily saturated with stuff, but every so often you get some really big indie games, mostly through like Team 17 kind of plugging it there. I know we didn't work on this game for them, but they just basically made a side-scrolling version of one of my other favorite indie games, Binding of Isaac, which is you go around in this rogue like game where you basically there's a small story or something about you trying to get revenge, but you go through different stages of the dungeons where you'll get a weapon, and then that weapon's going to be different every time you collect an unlockable. So you might have something a bit more basic, like a single fire gun, and then you might pick up a damage booster and you see that the bullets are like 5 times bigger the size, or it might just some really crazy kind of spinning neon on screen eye candy, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And every time you play through it, there's a different kind of generated level, which is really cool. One of my favorite appeals for the game is you collect these eggs, and these eggs kind of follow you, and they kind of eventually hatch. So it's kind of like Pokemon, where you have these eggs in your inventory and they eventually hatch, and each of these eggs contain a kind of like a small little helper. So if you're thinking like Binding of Isaac used to have a little follower that used to follow you and do like different types of attacks or boost you in different ways. So these little helpers can be anything from like snowmen to like mummies to like little characters, and they have their own little health, but they can also level up, and they might sometimes freeze an enemy or do an extra attack or collect the coins that you can't reach, or help you kind of reach higher areas and stuff. And you can kind of like stack all of these kind of eggs, they're little helpers, when they hatch just behind you, so you can have like a row of like maybe 6 different characters kind of boosting you. And that's just talking about them. Like the weapons are just crazy, the bosses are crazy, the music's fantastic, it's visually quite pleasing, and it's one of those games that you want to turn your soundbar or your surround sound with it, boost the bass, and be like, this got a little club happening here. It's quite cool.
That is awesome. That is awesome. So that's one to check out as well. Righty. So shall we talk a little bit about Ubisoft Forward?
I would love to talk about Ubisoft Forward.
Yeah. So that happened back on Sunday.
Yep.
So typically the day after we go live for the weekend catch up, right? But never mind. That's cool. So they showed off everything that was kind of expected to show off. There was no real surprises as such, save for maybe the new like battle arena style game Hyperspace, which looked quite fun. It's obviously in open beta on PC at the moment, but I'm a big Assassin's Creed fan. I've been enjoying Odyssey. I'm really quite enjoying Origins. I think Origins is really good, but I'm really quite excited for Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Because of the Viking setting. Now, I've already gone through the trailer on a separate video, so we're not going to talk too much about that. But I wanted to get your opinion on Watchdogs Legion, because you're a big fan of Watchdogs 2.
This is...
So get selling it to me, buddy. Come on.
This game... I know we're eventually going to talk about Ghosts, but if we're going to talk about exciting, open world kind of environments and spaces, if Legion is going to at least be where Watch Dogs 2 quality was in regards to game, it's gonna easily be up there as one of my contenders. I just love stuff like GTA, but with a nice twist. So Watch Dogs, the first one, was a good game. It did the whole hacking thing quite alright. Watch Dogs 2 came on board, and it was like set in San Francisco. It was more self-aware about kind of the geek and nerd culture. They honed in the hacking to a T. Like you could just play the game in 3 different styles. You can play it as like a soldier. Like you can just be like, forget hacking, I'm going to shoot the place up. Give me the skill tree for that. You can play it like a hacker, so you can be like, I'm going to get these cars to be able to kind of drive for me, or blow up the person's phone that they have in the pocket to kind of get a free grenade kill on them. Or you can just play completely stealthy and then not be seen and control all of the cameras and turn them off and do it and not kill anyone. And that was the level that Watch Dogs 2 set. So if Legion is going to take it away from just having a single protagonist and make you want to kind of expand and play with almost everyone, as in you are Legion, and then hopefully they haven't touched upon it yet, and it was one of my favorite selling points of the second one. Hopefully they have the online kind of adversarial and co-op stuff. So sometimes you might be playing through the main game, and then you'll get a call on your phone saying, hey, so this user is kind of taking down this truck, do you want to help them? And you'll be like, yes. And then it kind of seamlessly blends in to the game, and you'll see that truck on the map just driving, and then you want to go and try and help them escape, and you noticed other adversaries will join and be like, oh, we're the police, we're going to stop you from doing that. And this is all happening whilst in a seamless world. That's what 2 did, and I'm hoping they do that for this one. But more about the third game. It looks amazing. It's set in London, which is my hometown,
the home stomping ground, right? Yeah.
It's the home stomping ground. And the thing is, that's not even a selling point for me. It could be anywhere in the world, and whatever they're delivering looks good enough. So London is just an extra, bonus point on it. Like I will look for, these famous landmarks. I'll go to Soho, I'll go to Vauxhall, I'll go to Camden, do all of the cool things. I love the fact that every time you hear a British voice in a big production, you think, it's gonna be a bad guy. So imagine like everyone is British. It's gonna be amazing. And the favorite thing in that trailer was seeing the different types of characters having different types of skills and perks. So it won't just be your I'm gonna go around shooting and my aim is perfect, so I don't need to get another character because I found my favorite. You're going to have like the older granny kind of character who is good with kind of close quarters, maybe melee weapons, and then you have like in the trailer the John Wick like character, which can do something.
Hitman.
It's so good. In fact, there was the music from the club in the John Wick 1 was playing during that bit, which is quite amazing. And it's just a great game. If you love like your GTAs and stuff, but you like a twist where you can have the upper hand by using technology on your side or from your mobile phone, that should tick a lot of boxes. And there's a lot more in there. But I mean, have you not played Watch Dogs 1 or 2?
I bought into the hype of Watch Dogs 1.
Yeah.
Okay, and I completely missed out on Watch Dogs 2 because I'm an old and bitter 40-year-old, Sean. And I was burned so badly by Watch Dogs 1.
Oh, yeah.
And so I saw the trailers and all the gameplay footage and reviews and stuff like that for Watch Dogs 2, and I thought, this is going the Grand Theft Auto route, and it's not what I ever wanted from Watch Dogs. I wanted that original reveal. I wanted that gritty cyberpunk thriller. Like girl with dragon tattoo kind of stuff. That's what I wanted, and I'm still waiting for that. So, I don't know. I don't know if Legion is going to do it for me. It looks interesting, but I just kind of think that it's drifted so far away from that original like concept and reveal that I don't think we're ever going to get that. And then what we've got now is going the hacking playground Grand Theft Auto model, which I don't know if that's for me. I might pick it up if it's reviewing really, really well. I might pick it up, but I don't know. I'm kind of on the fence. I don't really know how to go about that one.
If you want to gauge it, I'd probably have a go at the second, because the difference between the first and second one is, like you said, you wanted a gritty girl with dragon tattoo kind of example, but what they did for 2, which made it a lot more appealing, is it gave it a lot more charm and made it less about the greys and the dystopian kind of world. So Aiden, the first one, it was kind of like wearing the hood, the long coat, mask, whatever.
Yes.
And it feels compared to the second one more of your generic kind of like, you can get that experience somewhere, whereas 2 was like, let's find one of the most coolest states in America in San Fran. They have like lots of color, lots of art, lots of LGBT, lots of kind of cool technology. They have like Silicon Valley, you have a black protagonist working with like these nerds and these geeks and all of these people who might have like slight disabilities, and it's kind of like, what, we missed a trick, so let's do it for 2. And I'm hoping that they're going to be like, okay, 2 to 3, let's add even more character. So if you do see it, it's always on sale whenever I see it, but I think
isn't it going to be free on PS Now this month or next month? Possibly. It's rumoured.
Ooh, yes.
It's rumoured that there might be a giveaway for it.
If that's so, you should get on it.
Yeah. So am I right in thinking that in Watch Dogs 2 you could tackle objectives without necessarily killing anybody and just employing your hacking abilities?
One of my favourite things to do in that game is to not engage directly. I leveled up my hacking.
You're a lover, not a fighter, Sean. That's
oh no! What I'm going to explain here is going to be more of a manipulator. So you can level up the police. So whenever you kind of find a person who's not a member of the police, and you can see them on your screen, you can basically call the police on them, and you can level it up so that rather than it just being, this person might have drugs, so this person might be having a gun, this person is going to start a war. And you'd be like, okay, bring in the SWAT team. And then you can do the same for gangs as well. So you can find just normal people around, be like, hey gang, this is your rival gang. And then you just go up to an area like a I don't know, a holding point, or like, a base or something. And you'd be like, okay, police, there is a drug deal about to happen. Send your biggest crew. And then you can go to the gang side and be like, hey gang, I think you got a rival gang here that's about to take your land. And then you just see the police and the gang just pull up to this place that you have, and start fighting it out, and you can literally kind of sneak in between them, or you can just watch them fight each other, and you can have like, you know, the SWAT team come in, and you can have like these big fights, and all because you've leveled up your hacking to basically tell each other that this is going down. And that's just like one of many opportunities. That's if you want to do the hacking route like that. So
that's really cool. We're getting some comments in the chat about fans of Watch Dogs 2. So clearly I am a grumpy old outlier for Watch Dogs. I'm maybe going to get it back involved as well. I'm also getting some nice comments about my giant jug of iced coffee. Look at this. Look at that.
Big.
I know, right?
So, are
you drinking anything today? Surely you must be a little bit parched. Or have you got like a glass of rum just off camera? You don't want to be.
There's always
there
rum
you go. There you go. But you don't want to be seen as the 10 a.m. drinker, right?
It's the weekend, but I'm not drinking right now. No. Maybe afterwards.
That is awesome. Now I'm going to put you on the spot a little bit here. Feel free to not answer it or just kind of segue into something else. But is there anything else that you and Sold Out Games are working on that you can maybe tease, let us know about, or anything that you want to talk about?
I can talk about the stuff that we've obviously revealed. So next month we've got No Straight Roads, which is
is that music thing?
Yeah.
Okay,
Your rhythm infused.
Give me all the skinny. Give me the skinny. Come on.
Yes. So it's one we're really looking forward to. So the main devs, they worked on Final Fantasy 15, as well as some of them did the music for Street Fighter 5. Basically, it's a game where you are playing a duo, Bunk Bed Junction. You got Mayday and Sug, and they are living in this world run by the NSR company. So Vinyl City is where they live, and they do rock music. And Vinyl City is powered by music. So think like was it Monsters Inc., where they're powered the city by screaming, children's screams. So this city is powered by like music, and they want to kind of be in a chance to work for this company where their rock music can actually power the city. And as you'll see in the intro and the trailers, you don't actually make it past the auditions, and you want to work out why, and you realize that the team that runs it is other genres of music. So neon classical, you got dance, you got disco, you've got so many different types. And the game is basically you are going to find out why this conspiracy of why rock music is banned and why it's bad, even though during the audition you made the right amount of energy. So it's like, what is going on here? So basically the game in a nutshell is you're taking down loads of different genres of music. So every time you fight a different boss, it's the music is blended between rock versus the other EDM like tracks. So you'll hear your track versus theirs, and it's kind of blending. And the more you progress through it, the more you'll hear how the blend of the rock music will take over these same tracks. And it's really cool. And we've taken it to a few shows like EGX and a few other bits. So that's like the next upcoming game. But we've got some other really cool ones. Another big shout out is Kiwi, which is coming out next year, which is like our take on Team 17's Overcooked, or like moving out to where it's local co-op where you're trying to do something together, and it requires you to talk, maybe some shouting, maybe some fighting, but you work as two little Kiwis that work in the postal service, and you do various tasks. So one level is you have like a typewriter, and you need to type up these kind of messages to be able to send to like a local emergency services. But what you're doing is you're controlling each Kiwi on this big typewriter, so that's one word at a time, and then sometimes you have to hold down shift to get like a capital letter. Sometimes you need to hit the space. Sometimes the letters swap over. And that's like another big shout out. So those are the two that I like to shout out for now. There's a few others.
Yeah. So the Kiwi game, what was the name of it? Is it called Kiwi?
It's Kiwi. So it's spelled not like the actual Kiwi, but Keywe. So key like a key in a door. No space.
I'm gonna be looking out for that. It seems to be that kind of cooperative, argumentative genre is like a flourishing genre.
It works.
It really does. It makes for great party videos as well, and get-togethers. It's the kind of thing that does it work well, like online, or is it? I mean, it always strikes me as a couch co-op first type of experience.
Yeah. Well, I'll say you and I grew up playing stuff before the internet. actually became a bigger deal. And I kind of miss those days where, you know, couch co-op was the fun times. I know you know your own streams, and you know, when you go to parties and stuff, playing classic Halo or Bomberman or whatever, when you're in the same space, there is that kind of instant gratification that someone you're playing with, you can actually...
It's the elbows to put your opponent off when they're right next to you. Yeah.
And we kind of miss that in kind of current gaming. It's like, I know it's more accessible that you can just literally click matchmake and, you know, find a game instantly, but nothing quite feels as good as being able to play with, you know, local friends and families, or even LAN parties or tournaments and stuff, and being in that space and be like, you know, this is great. And I miss when, you know, Halo kind of got rid of the split screen, and I literally... I haven't even completed Halo 5 just because of that. I saw it, I was like, nope, not for me. That's not the game I grew up playing. So, you know, this local multiplayer stuff, I know it might be, you know, due to maybe budget constraints, because, you know, you need to have servers and stuff. But, you know, there's still a market for that stuff. And I think, you know, kids of our current generation probably have missed that. But, you know, they can learn, because we have had grown up with that. Those are really some fun moments. Like, all of my favorite moments in gaming have been with my sister or my family or my friends.
One of my fondest was GoldenEye on the N64 multiplayer, four-player split screen, and it was my friend Scott, you know Scott Murray, and we were. It was. I don't know why it was his house. I think it was his house because at the time he had the biggest CRT TV I think I'd ever seen in my life.
What?
It was. I think it was like 27 or 28 inch CRT. Now, if anybody in the chat knows what a CRT TV is, they are as deep as they are wide as they are heavy, and 4-player GoldenEye, slappers only.
Oh yes.
or Odd Job, and that was the game. We played all through the night playing that, and that was just so much fun. But yeah, you cannot beat a really good, entertaining get-together with friends, snacks, all the snacks, and couch co-op session. So looking forward to that. So I wanted to ask you, going back to the music game, I've forgotten the name of it. Sorry.
No Straight Roads.
No Straight Roads. Thank you. So is that coming to PC? I'm assuming.
That's coming to PC on Epic, as well as consoles as well. So you should get it on your formats. We got some more reveals of what specific formats coming up, this is going good. We're enjoying hearing a lot of feedback from fans who've played the demo. So it's available right now, the demo, on the Epic Store, if you want to get a chance to play it. But
I'm looking forward to when it releases on PC for the modders to come in and give me Bill and Ted characters. I need wild stallions as the musical heroes of No Straight Roads. That's what I need. You know, electric guitar, like the air guitar, all that kind of stuff. That's what I need. So I'm maybe gonna put a blanket request out to PC modders, where as soon as No Straight Roads launches, give me Bill and Ted's No Straight Roads.
Yeah, you know? In time for the film, the new upcoming film. Like
a marketing tie-in right there. Get it done. It has to happen. So, sorry, when does that launch? Is that next year?
No, that's next month. So
next month?
The end of August, yeah.
Okay, well, we're going to have to try and get our hands on that and do some streaming of that as well. That'll be a lot of fun. It sounds like a lot of fun. Music games, rhythm games are always really, really good fun. I used to be a super fan of Guitar Hero 3. Even though I would only ever play it on easy, I don't care. I could rock out to Welcome to the Jungle. And it's just a lot of fun. Yeah, a lot. So, excellent stuff. You got some busy times ahead, sir. A lot of projects coming.
That's cool.
That is wicked. So I'm going to do a quick shout out to the game I've been playing pretty much non-stop since it released, and it came with this.
Oh,
look at that. Can I line up my face?
Yeah,
there we go. There we go.
With extra beard as well.
Extra beard as well. This is the mask from Ghost of Tsushima, and that was the collector's edition. I recorded a full unboxing video, so that will be hitting the channel later on today as soon as I edit it. I did a lot of filming, a lot of B-roll filming of just like panning shots of the various bits. I've probably got like hours of takes of stuff I'm not going to use, but that is typical of what happens when you're doing that. So yeah, I'm loving the feel at the moment. Still very early, I'm only a few hours in, but the samurai combat just feels so like meaty, weighty. That connection of blades like chinking off each other's, and it is so satisfying, and it's got that kind of vibe of Bushido Blade and Tenchu a little bit as well, which is feeding into what I really, really wanted for Ghost of Tsushima. It looks beautiful as well. I was worried it was just going to feel exactly like an Assassin's Creed game, but the way it's handling a lot of world systemic elements feels just so elegant that I just don't think like Ubisoft would ever make or implement into an open world game or to their kind of template. For better or worse, I still love open world games by Ubisoft. As I said at the beginning, I'm super excited for Valhalla, but the way in which they do like navigation exploration, it feels way more like Breath of the Wild than an Assassin's Creed title. You know, you swipe up on the trackpad, and that will trigger like the wind to blow in a certain direction. Again, that was like one of the big kind of oh my effing god moments of the reveal for navigation. You know, there's no clutter on your HUD or anything like that. In fact, there's very little HUD. It's super minimal. So you just assign your waypoint in the map screen, and then there's nothing on the screen like in the gameplay. So you've got this beautiful depiction of this Japanese island of Tsushima, and you just swipe up on the trackpad, and then you'll get a gust of wind or petals or cherry blossoms just blowing from the fields in a direction, just guiding you. And it feels very just elegant in terms of a navigation, just elegance. And what I like that is making me feel like it's very much like Breath of the Wild is it is that kind of climb a peak and then look around the landscape, and if you see smoke or something over there, or if you see a hut or see something, then you go there. It's not like there's markers pinging up all over the place to this leading you by the nose, like is what the kind of Assassin's Creed games have become. I'm really digging it so far, and I can't wait to dive in and play some more. So it's hitting all the beats that I hoped it would at the moment. So we'll see how it continues over the long term, but it's handling things just really, really elegantly, and I really like it.
Cool. I've got a question about it actually.
Yeah, go for it.
How's the combat like? I know a lot of people think it's similar from look to Sekiro, or some people might have confused it with Dark Souls, but some people might be aware and be like, oh, more like Assassin's Creed. Is it difficult? Is it good? Is it satisfying? What does it feel like?
It can be. It is super satisfying, and for me anyway, I can only talk about my own experiences. It draws on elements of Sekiro. So, you know, in Sekiro where you have like a guard counter gauge.
Yeah.
That you have to basically break before you can like do damage to the enemy.
Yeah.
So it has a system like that, but once that is broken, you can, similar to Sekiro, is kill them in like 1 or 2 strikes once that guard is broken. Wow. Now some enemies don't have a guard system. They're basically like the pawns on a chessboard. They're like the lowest enemy type, so you can literally 1 strike kill them. And see, when you do that, you think, F yes, this is a samurai game that feels like believable, that you're not spamming the like you're not mashing the square button, and because you can, if you start mashing buttons, you will get your ass handed to you. Really? And it feels a little bit like Arkham Knight or the Batman game, the Rocksteady Batman games in that regard. But it's not combo based like the Batman games. It is very much considered, methodical, but it's just immense, just so satisfying, because if you still have to dodge, you have to parry. It's got a parry system like in Sekiro, and you can instant kill from a parry as well. So if you time it like in Sekiro, where the blades strike together and then the enemy will recoil, they're staggered basically, you can then go in for an instant kill just like in Sekiro. But you're swarmed at times, but it's not in the Assassin's Creed model where they're just all kind of swarming you, and it's so fast and so arcadey, it doesn't feel like satisfying. It feels like you can just mash the buttons.
Yeah.
Whereas this, you have to really try and isolate enemies. You have to get away from them, and because there's no lock-on as well, so far it's not really a problem for me. As long as you're using situational awareness, you can. It's face buttons to attack, so yes, you can't spin the camera whilst you're attacking, but if you're planning your attacks against the enemies ahead of time, like in chess, rotate the camera and you can block or parry whilst you're rotating the camera. Yeah. And then go for the attack. So you don't have to spin the camera and attack at the same time. You shouldn't be doing that. As for me anyway, you should be rotating the camera, getting ready to parry and recoil the enemy as they attack. Pick your enemies, pick your opponents, and then go for your attack combinations. And then there's an awesome move where once they're recoiled, you can press and hold the triangle button, and he does this like overhead move, and it's like a stabbing thrust motion, and it will instant kill them, and it is just the coolest thing ever. I'm really, really loving just how methodical, how weighty the combat is. Now, I am kind of down talking Assassin's Creed quite a bit here, and I do apologise because I do love that series. But one thing that always got me is archers in the Assassin's Creed games. They could like recoil away from you or run towards you whilst firing a bow.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it always pissed me off, like something major, because you could be running toward them, trying to attack them. They could be like backpedaling away from you whilst shooting you. It's like, that is not even realistic at all. Whereas archers in this, if they're taking a shot, they can't move because it's not believable, it's not realistic. So you got to choose your moments to dodge the arrow coming in, and then make your move like hunting toward them. And then if they want to take a shot, it takes time for them to load the bow and then line up the shot and take the shot. It just feels so much more satisfying and believable. And I'm so happy that they stuck to that. I'm really, really enjoying it.
Have you tried it in black and white yet?
Second playthrough.
Second
playthrough, because I just watched Seven Samurai before the game launched, just to get into the mindset. But I'm excited to try that black and white mode, because it's not just a colour grading that they've done to make it black and white. They've added like dust and scratches and grain, so it looks like old film. But they've also downgraded the audio, so it feels like that it's quite tinny. It's quite old audio capture, like it is in the original Kurosawa films, like Yojimbo and Rashomon, and of course Seven Samurai. So I'm super excited to. But it's got to be the second playthrough, because the game is too beautiful. There are too many colours in this game to just get rid of it for the first playthrough, for your first experience to be a black and white experience. You know what I mean? So. Yeah, I'm digging it so far. Really, really enjoying it. Can't wait to get back to more. Yeah. So, guys, is there anything else you want to chat, pimp out, plug, anything at all, Sean?
No, I'm just looking forward to Microsoft's showcase now.
23rd, right? Yeah. So that's next week, is it? What's the exact day?
Today's the 18th, so yeah, next
Thursday?
week.
Thursday, Saturday, or something like that? Or is it Friday? I can't remember. Who knows?
Whatever it is, it's not quick enough for us.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm hoping for some big first-party announcements and reveals there. Because they've got a lot of studios. They got a lot of studios.
Yeah, this event for me is... I was excited for PlayStation. But as a main primary PlayStation user, I'm always more excited for the competitor, because I want to be sold on something that I don't initially think I need. So I would love to see what they have. I think I will probably at some point get both consoles, but I want Microsoft to basically kind of be like, we've got these IPs, we're going to make sure that we're going to try and swing a few more people onto our side, or anyone that's on the fence. What would it take? So my mindset is, yes, I'm going to pre-order PS5, but I would like to see what Microsoft are going to do to make me feel like, oh, maybe I should consider them instead. So, Halo might always do that for me if they kind of bring back, split screen, or just have something kind of slightly different.
I think they are, right? I think they're going to bring back split screen. I think they've recognised that it's one of those staples that you have to have in Halo is split screen co-op.
Yeah. Do you have any expectations from the show? Like, what are you expecting? Are you expecting Forza, some Gears? What are you looking at?
I am looking forward to finding out what is going on with Fable. Fable is one of my most beloved, adored franchises.
Really?
Yeah. I love the first one. I love the second one. I never actually played the third one, believe it or not. I think by that point I had been a little bit too... I don't know. I wasn't getting like a good reception. It was Molyneux trying to... being over ambitious and not fulfilling the reality or the ambition of that series of what it could deliver.
Yeah.
But I will say, Kingdoms of Amalur, it is for me what Fable should have turned into, and I'm actually really quite excited for that remaster coming in September. So, but I really want to see where they're going to go with Fable. Is it like start from the ground up, just kind of reinvent it, reinvent what it can be?
Yeah.
Of course I'm excited for Halo. That is the original, the OG FPS that cemented the Xbox brand. I'm excited to see if they can get me excited, because Halo announcements used to be this amazing event hype moment.
Yep.
So I really want to see what that, and I want to see if they can really sell like what these games will look like or play like on. Probably not play like, because it will be a passive experience to watch this stuff, but what the Series X can give us for next generation. Maybe even more of Hellblade 2, because Hellblade, the first game, is one of my most impressive indie titles from Ninja Theory, of course. What they did with motion capture and performance and audio in that game is spectacular, so I'm excited to see what they do with Hellblade 2 for that. So maybe we'll get some more of that. I don't know, or is it too early for more footage of that? Maybe they want to focus on stuff that they haven't shown yet. I don't know, we'll see.
Yeah, well, hopefully, pre-order season is going to start very soon, and for pre-orders to actually kind of go in a favor, they will need to start showing gameplay. Yeah, so maybe so. Did you catch Jeff Keighley's DualSense video yesterday?
Cheeky little bam, isn't he? Just dropping that on Twitter. It's like, oh, hey guys, I've got a DualSense 5 controller. Look at this. Look what I've got. Look what I've got with my thumbs all doing haptic feedback and everything. Yeah.
Does look cool. One thing I keep forgetting, I was saying to my friends, I keep forgetting that the DualSense doesn't have colors on the controller buttons, as in, triangles being green.
Got you.
And stuff. And I'm like, because I'm so used to it being ingrained growing up with the PlayStation that whenever you see on-screen HUD stuff, you associate a shape with a color. And I'm challenge everyone out there, like, can you think of the shape without the color on the pad? Yeah, exactly that.
There you go.
And so it makes me think, with removing that on screen, what's going to be slightly different, or is that going to play into the psyche of the gamer? Like, it is kind of one color. Like, do you think that would make a difference in how you play?
It might do. One thing I actually always liked about some of the custom Xbox One controllers is where the face buttons were all clear, or a custom color to match the body of the controller, they would do a little 4-dot. I think it's in the inside of the cluster of buttons, which is the color coding, and I thought that was really quite elegant, a really, really nice little touch. So maybe they could do something like that, or maybe I'm just going to have to get a magic marker out and just make a little dot myself next to the button. It's like, what is the pink button again? Square. There we go. Green is triangle, blue is X.
Yeah,
doing that kind of thing.
Yeah. I got one last food for thought for you.
Okay.
So next gen's coming up, right?
Yes.
We are expecting virtually zero loading times.
Okay, well, hopefully that's the goal, right? That's the dream. That's the dream.
If you think of it this way, we've grown up with loading screens for almost every game that we've played.
Yes.
So much so that the developers use the loading screens to hide, have certain things hidden. So in certain games like Tomb Raider or whatever, and you're going for a tight space, it's loaded in the other area, to the point where games like, From Software, stuff like Bloodborne and Dark Souls show like helpful hints when the game is loading. Yes. What do you think we're going to now have to have without loading screens to be able to have these kind of moments of breath, or moments of getting hints, or going for a tight space won't have to be a thing anymore, just to conceal loading in the background? Like, having no loading, it sounds
the impact
a bit
of
too
that.
Crazy for me, because I'm like, I needed those bits.
I wonder if it will be either they will just do these kind of like fake loading screens to kind of give you that experience, or will it be I'm thinking of actually the first Gears of War, where you first go to the rebels encampment, and it's like a forced walking section.
Yeah.
Just guys, just slow down. Just take a moment. We're just gonna kind of put the brakes on just for a little minute here. Just kind of ease it down here. You don't have to be running and gunning, for 90 hours straight. You just want to slow it down. So maybe there'll be that kind of stuff as well. Yeah. But it'll be interesting. I mean, I was actually playing. Well, we've both played extensively The Last of Us Part 2, and it's actually present in Ghost of Tsushima as well, where there's still those bits where you have to like crawl through a space, like a tight space, but it's instant. It's just like a motion that you're doing to get through something, rather than like a long space which will slow you down to mask loading. And one thing that is phenomenal on a technical level about The Last of Us Part 2 is if you're just playing through it, obviously watching all the cutscenes and stuff, from start to finish, that game, you will never see it loading. You will never see it loading. It never loads mid-level. You watch the cutscenes, it goes straight into the next huge level. On a technical level, it's packed with detail. It's phenomenal. But again, like, no loading is essentially already here, but it's just masked by these incredible cinematics or these other elements at play, which are giving you like a seamless journey, a seamless gameplay experience. So on that level, no loading is present. So whether that kind of becomes a bit of a template for that, I don't know. Or whether tip screens are always handy, but is there a more elegant way to show like tips rather than bringing up a big full screen which rips you out of the experience? Something that's more integrated into what you're doing, which doesn't like freeze frame the action, but is more, I don't know, more integrated. That's a bit more elegant. I don't know.
Yeah, it'll be pretty cool. Did you ever play any of the Mass Effect games?
Dude, don't talk to me about Mass Effect. I love Mass Effect.
So you must remember like the obvious elevator loading screens with the only time you see your two characters.
When they got rid of the elevators in Mass Effect 2, I cried. I loved the elevators. They were, it's you could tell obviously it is just to hide a loading screen, but you know what? There was something really like funny about this crap music, which is total elevator music, but you also got like dialogue from the characters interacting depending on who you had deployed on your team at any given moment. You got the back and forth, and I thought that was a really clever way to mask elevator rides. Whereas in Mass Effect 2, they just ripped you out, gave you a cool schematic of the Normandy with some, I don't know, like futuristic graphics and visuals and that kind of stuff. But I don't know, it felt more seamless in Mass Effect 1. For all of its other flaws, it's still very near and dear to my heart. I love Mass Effect. I'm still hoping that EA give us that goddamn remaster trilogy. Please make it happen. Please make it happen. Can you imagine that on Switch, actually?
It should be able to run on Switch. It was a 360 game.
360 game, yeah, exactly. So we're actually running along today. Oh my goodness, but it's been so much fun.
Oh, right.
And we're gonna end the show there, everybody. So thank you to everybody who's tuned in for the Weekend Catch-Up Club. I am Ross, your host from Gamertagged, and I've been joined by the delicious Sean McTavish Labode from Sold Out Games. Actually, a quick sign-off. You haven't explained where does McTavish come from, Sean?
So,
come on now.
When I was younger, I loved a certain video game called Call of Duty Modern Warfare. Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare. The main protagonist is Soap McTavish, and the younger Sean said, "Hey, that's one of my favorite protagonists. He's really cool." And I just, slotted in there. So I do have two normal middle names, but I prefer McTavish. It's just anything Scottish sounds amazing, right? I'm asking the right guy here, aren't I? Obviously.
Yeah, come on.
So Soap McTavish is where that name comes from.
Awesome. So guys, thank you again for tuning in. Of course, you can catch this up as well on Facebook and youtube.com/gamertagged. If you've enjoyed it, hit like, hit subscribe. Make sure you turn on the notification bells to get notified of any future videos you don't want to miss out. And I will be back with more Weekend Catch-Up Club next Saturday from 10 a.m. live on Facebook. Take care, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.